Hello, I pushed live to the live Sparrow instance functionality related to LLM instruction calling. It is available online on sparrow.katana.ml.io, and I implemented instruction calling functionality in the form of or with the idea of LLM Microservice, so that I could reuse the same endpoint for different tasks, for different use cases, for some small and isolated functionality to be executed through instruction endpoint of Sparrow, and this could be integrated into any kind of application to do any kind of tasks like to summarize the data, to validate the data, or do some forecasting, or do some data analysis, or make a decision to identify next step in the workflow, and so on. And let's see, so here we got sparrow.katana.ml.io. This functionality is available, whatever I'm showing you is on live Sparrow instance. And this example I selected from bank statement, kind of standard bank statement example here. I executed it to fetch all data from the table, and table is automatically detected. Right, and this is the response that I'm getting. So each row from the table is extracted into the JSON format. Right, and then as soon as you get JSON structured data response from the document in Sparrow, you'll have enabled summarize this request, this result button. It is disabled now because I already executed it before the demo. But as soon as you get JSON, the button will be automatically enabled, and then you can click this button, execute summarize request with the instruction, which is automatically prepared and processed in the background. And then this is the response you'll get from the LLM for this JSON data as example. It automatically detects that there are duplicate entries for transactions on February 8 and February 9, and it suggests that maybe you need to review this for the accuracy. Maybe there are some errors in the bank statement. And in general, it makes bank statement result more readable and some additional explanations, because I'm sending request or sending the instruction to summarize and make it more simple and simplify the request, the response, sorry, that we got through the JSON output here. Okay, and now if you look into the code, so this UI part, which is implemented with Gradio application, and this function summarize result, and this function is responsible to send instruction requests to the backend where all the processing is handled. And the query is formed in the instruction, and then we have the instruction here hard-coded. It could be any kind of instruction you want in your practical application. Here I have summarized this JSON data so that I'm asking LLM to provide summary or more simple data for the payload that I'm sending. And the payload is this original JSON structured output that was retrieved by the Vision LLM. And all this data is sent to the Sparrow backend, and then it's communicated to the Vision LLM, whatever is being used at the moment, and then this actual instruction is being executed inside LLM and then returned back to Sparrow. Sparrow is doing post-processing and displaying data on UI. And so this is the UI part, and then there's a backend part of Sparrow where we actually receive this instruction request. We receive it in Sparrow instructor pipeline, and here we check the structure of the query that was sent. We check if instruction part is included and payload part, if it is included or not. If both are included, then it's fine. We carry on with actual execution on whatever LLM backend is available in the system. Like I'm running it locally with MLX on macOS, and I'm using this backend with Mistral small 3.1 Vision LLM, in this case, to process the instruction. And this new functionality is very important in Sparrow because it works with any kind of payload and with the instruction. So it's generic, and there's no input file like PDF or whatever in the input for the instruction calling, because it works with text payload, and this means, again, it means it's generic and it's not limited to the document data processing. It can work with any other tasks as well. And let's see here, for example, I'm accessing API, which is being generated or available from Sparrow LLM backend. And as we can see, we have two endpoints, inference endpoint and instruction inference endpoint. So inference endpoint is the one as it was available before. It accepts the file, query, and other parameters to extract the data from the document, either PDF or image. And the second endpoint, which is available now, is called instruction inference. So instruction inference, as you can see here, we accept the query, which is the text, and it is generic, so not limited, again, to the document data extraction. Like in this case, I have instruction do math, and payload is 2 + 2. So the most simple example possible I decided to put, so it would be easier for you to understand. And the pipeline is Sparrow instructor. The one, the inference endpoint typically would use Sparrow parse pipeline, because this is the one which is supposed to extract the data from the documents. Here we're using Sparrow instructor because we're processing instructions with the payload. Then under options, we specify MLX backend in this case, because I'm running it locally with MLX on macOS, and I'm using Mistral small 3.1 Vision LLM, converted to be friendly with MLX and available from MLX community on Hugging Face. Then there's no debugging and no Sparrow key in this case, because I'm running it on my own infrastructure, and a few other parameters which are not important here. And then as soon as I execute this, then we'll get the result, which should come from the LLM, which should say that it's 2 + 2 is equal 4. And this is generated based on the original instruction do math from by the Vision LLM. And the same logic is applied in this case when we run summarize the result instruction, and then instead of do math, we have this instruction like we saw here when it's sent to the endpoint. We have instruction summarize JSON data, and we're passing payload actual JSON text basically, and then LLM handles it and makes it more human friendly. And the idea is that this inference instruction inference endpoint is supposed to handle any kind of instruction with combination with any kind of payload, and you can use it with the idea like it would be LLM microservice basically. So one inference would handle one type of data, another inference would handle another type of data, and then you can use those different payloads with different instructions in your own system to execute and run different tasks. So yeah, thanks for watching, hopefully it will be useful, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.